Go behind the scenes with us as we make a 100% completely upcycled backpack from trash. In this video, I'll run through our process and the design of making this upcycled backpack with a company called Rewilder from materials that would usually go to the landfill. Now, Rewilder is based out of Los Angeles, and they are a woman-owned design company using design to elevate unexpected materials. They use all sorts of materials, from billboards, from Coldplay and Dead & Co concerts, to industrial waste, old t-shirts, and even promotional materials from festivals. At ShredCycle, we take waste from the action sports industry and turn it into circular and recycled materials like faux leather and TPU pellets. For this backpack, we wanted to create and incorporate our material into Rewilder's amazing upcycled bags. Here, I'll take you through every step of the process from trash to treasure as we design and create this upcycled backpack. The first step that we went through was design. We wanted to incorporate Rewilder's design, but create like a sturdy inside panel. And the inspiration behind this was to create a sturdy backpack that a skater could use. And say if we had like a laptop inside, or they fell or dropped it, that the laptop would survive. We also wanted to test out our material and see how the backpack would hold up, and also if the backpack would stand up. So with this in mind, we had our first design meetings with the Rewilder team. So this is Stephanie and Jenny. They started out looking at our material and figuring out how it would look, how it could be incorporated into the backpack. A lot of bags have like interior plastic paneling. And if you look at a backpack that you might own, inside you will find that there's usually like a foam paneling or plastic paneling that gives the bag structure and allows the bag to stand up, adding durability. It's also, if it's a nicer backpack, say like an outdoorsy version of the backpack that you might use like for snowboarding, you'll find that it'll have specialized plastic or TPU as the panel for shock absorption. And that's exactly what we were going to incorporate into Rewilder's upcycled backpack, was TPU paneling made from skate wheel waste. First step, so we figured out our design, the panel sizing, and the overall layout. Pig the cat would like to make an appearance. Hello, Pig. This is our production assistant, Pig, and she's usually hanging around. Okay, you need to get out of the shot now, Pig. Come on. The second step was processing and molding. So molding our material that was going to go into the bag. This is where ShredCycle comes in. We went out and collected skate wheel waste from the action sports industry. So both scraps from making skate wheels as well as post-consumer skate wheel waste. And then it's on to process this scrap. We take the scrap waste from skate wheel manufacturers, we clean it, and then we process it, basically reforming it into usable TPU pellets. We call this reshred. It's our recycled TPU pellets that can be injection molded into a panel, but really it can be molded into any shape depending on the mold. Then we work with our partners and team, especially our molders at Inesco Mold and Tool Co. out of Valencia, California, to injection mold the panels. Now, if you're unfamiliar with injection molding, basically it's putting these plastic pellets into a funnel, heating it up, and pushing them with a lot of force into a mold, kind of like Play-Doh. The molds are usually custom made, and they're very expensive to make. It was probably the most expensive part of the entire process because of how much aluminum material it requires to make this mold. We're also super lucky that our partner is forward thinking, and they actually upcycle their molds to save material and be more eco-friendly, less wasteful, and honestly saves money. Once it's pushed through the mold, and you can see it here, we're using a DIY molder at Hyena Skateboarding, which is us testing out pallets, and you can see a little bit of the material run over through the mold. Once it's pushed through, it cools, And as it cools, it takes the shape of that panel or the outline of the mold. All in all, it takes a village from collecting the materials, processing the materials, selecting material, and designing, production, and marketing everything in the end. The third step in the process, testing and reviewing the measurements. In this experiment, we wanted to review the panels and the bag measurements. We met up with Rewilder. They checked out the panels, and in our experiment, they actually came out a little bit thicker than we wanted, which made the panels really heavy, and in turn was going to make the bag really heavy. Therefore, it required a bit more material to wrap around the panel from the interior lining. Just so many small details. We eventually figured it out, and we were able to move to the next step, which was prepping our materials for production. We worked with Rewilder's talented production team and seamstresses to lay out all the different materials. Now, Rewilder uses completely upcycled materials. The nature of using upcycled and recycled materials means that sometimes materials may change, but the durability and the quality should remain the same. For this backpack, we chose upcycled airbag material for the outer lining, drone landing pad material for the inner lining, our reshred panels made from skate wheel waste, recycled seatbelt material, and we picked out our accessories like zippers, etc. Then we had to prepare the panels that we molded, and we wanted to make them a little bit lighter because they came out really heavy. So we ended up punching them with a die press or a die cutter. This is a machine that you see in the fashion industry a lot to do designs. It's really fast, and you're basically applying lots of pressure with metal cutters, kind of like a cookie cutter. Normally, we would have designed the holes into the molding process, this previous steps, but because it's a lot more expensive to create a mold and a lot more aluminum material to do that, we actually left that until the end with this experiment. Once the panels were ready and all the materials were laid out and measured, we were ready to go into the next step, which was production. This is where the seamstress and team, definitely not me, cut and sew all of the pieces and the design together, incorporating the bag panels. They began by creating the back interior panels first, and they make the bag inside out so they can sew everything together, connecting the inner lining, the drone pad material, with the outer airbag material, then the zippers, and then the pockets. Then exterior accessories like handles and the straps from seatbelt material. There's a few last minute finishing touches, and then voila, you've got an upcycled backpack. That moves into the last step, which is testing. We'll be testing this backpack out, putting it under stress tests, heat, wearability, protecting laptops, etc. This bag is created all from upcycled materials, some of them even recycled and reformed from old skate wheel waste, and we think that's pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes of the making of an upcycled backpack with completely recycled materials. I'd love to answer any questions that you have in the comments, and we'd like to hear more about what you think. Would you like to see more products like this? One question I get asked a lot is it going to be possible to make everything out of recycled materials, or is it really making a difference, and is there enough waste? Seeing all of the scrap waste and waste that comes out of industry, I can confidently say we have so much waste, and we need to figure out what we're going to do with it. I think the first thing we need to do is design products that are less wasteful, that use less plastic, and that are using bio or recycled materials. But the second thing, we have so much waste that is currently not being used, and it's going to landfills, whether it's our post-consumer waste, so what we use, or industrial waste, or the scrap waste from making our products. There's so much of it, and we need to figure out what we're going to do with it at the end of its life. That's what we're working towards at ShredCycle. You can check out other ways to get involved on our website. Please let us know what other kinds of products you'd like to see. Thanks so much, and until next time.